Everyone, welcome to a new video, and I got screeners for The Regime with Kate Winslet, and I'm here to talk about it.
Ravishing. The flowers are ravishing.
So The Regime takes place within a year, within a palace, in a country completely made up for the show. And after not leaving the palace for some time, Chancellor Eleanor becomes increasingly kind of paranoid and unstable, so she turns to a certain soldier who is an unlikely confidant. This series, I didn't check out any trailers or anything like that, but given it was HBO and Max and Kate Winslet and the writers behind the show, I was very, very interested. There are only 6 episodes. This does star Kate Winslet, Matthias, not going to pronounce his last name, Andrea Rosenbauer, with a couple guest stars that I won't spoil. I think they might be out there anyway, but I'll just not say anything. I did put it in my written review, which will be down below. I like to keep my reviews as raw and real as possible with very little editing. I do have my points here that I will read from and also talk a little bit about as well. But The Regime is very interesting, is how I want to describe it. I think tonally it is going to split a lot of people, and I want to get out the way straight away that firstly The Regime didn't really work for me. I want to get that aside because I don't want you to click off right now, because I'm sure you'd want to know why, because you may like this show. There is no aspects of this show that I watched, that I saw and was like, that's bad, or not necessarily that's bad, but I can't tell if this is bad or not. But it has such an interesting tone to it that I was kind of like sat there going, I'm actually really confused. Is there something wrong with me? But as the episodes went on, I started to understand it a little bit more, and I realized maybe it was just me. Firstly, I want to get out. I mean, you're all here to, hear about Kate Winslet's performance. She is fantastic, as per usual. She plays a very, very unique and interesting character. I'm sure that it's been shown in the trailers. She's interesting. She's very interesting. She's smart, but she's very strange. Along with this soldier. Again, I've forgotten his name. But he's quite an ominous figure. And the actor for it, Matthias, however you pronounce it, Matthias, he's fantastic in the show as well. He has this really, this dark presence about him in every single scene. There, whenever the camera cuts to him, you're always watching him and thinking, what is he thinking in this moment right now? And I think the show does that very well through how it's shot, but also through the performances. Adrienne Rosenbauer, she didn't really work for me in this show. She plays, I think she is Northern in real life, but she plays like a Northerner. A lot of her moments were quite comedic, especially for the first few episodes. And the comedy just didn't work for me. This is a comedic show. It's more comedic than something like Succession, where Succession is very, very funny, but it's very grounded in its comedy. This is very much, it's trying to be funny in a way. I don't know how to describe that. So again, that will work for some people, but it didn't for me. She partakes in a lot of that comedy aspect. I just didn't find it very funny. There are a few moments here and there that I thought was very funny. It has a lot of witty dialogue. I know that Succession people are involved with this show. But again, 6 episodes, it's quite different. And the setting, and I don't really understand politics that well, and politics is a big part of this show, so I didn't really understand a lot of it. Again, that pulls me out the show, and it's possibly why I just didn't really resonate with this show. But we will also get into some of the positives. Guest stars are great, or even just the actors that show up a little bit, not necessarily guest stars, because they are throughout the show, but they are also great. The ensemble is great. It adds an interesting, comedic twist, and I think they balance a tone really well. And for me, what really works with this tone is when it gets dark. And when it gets dark, it's dark. And I really like that aspect, and the filmmaking really complemented those kind of aspects. For the most part, the show is kind of shot simple, really well, and the grading's nice, but when it takes that dark turn, that's when I kind of went, you know, occasionally I pick up my phone and just look at a couple things. But then when that twist happens, I put my phone down. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm in here. But yeah, visually, I mean, it's quite different and has a unique aesthetic, and it's distinguished its style quite well in that first episode. I didn't like the first episode. I want to say that as well. I did not like the first episode. The second episode and the third episode, I got into it a little bit more. But that first episode really didn't do it for me. I was just confused. The exposition just didn't really work for me. Because that first episode is where I finished it. I was like, I have no idea if this is a bad show or not. It's not. The performances are great, the directing's great, the score's great, you know, all these little things. The score's very goofy. Why am I not in this right now? So I had that question multiple times, and episode 1 for me didn't work. So if you maybe don't like episode 1, give it to episode 2 and just see how you feel then. But episode 1 didn't work for me. It's not a straightforward narrative. Again, I was kind of confused at times with what's actually going on, but I just think you really need to sit with the show. Again, it is only 6 episodes. The episodes aren't that long. The first episode is about 48 minutes, second one 46, third about 58, and so on. But again, it on these technical aspects and production aspects, I think The Regime is fantastic. However, I do think that narratively and the screenplay and maybe the tone might pull a lot of people out of it. I am very interested to hear what people have to say. The review embargo, as I'm filming right now, does lift in an hour. So I'd be very interested to read what other people think, but didn't really work for me. The second half does get much better, but again, it's just whether you connect with this or not. Kate Winslet is fantastic. Obviously, whether she'll get a nomination next year or this year, whatever, for the Emmys for limited series, I don't know. But I did have a enjoyable and an interesting time with this. Again, the dark aspects for me were the standout, and again, the show gets dark. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know in the comments below, are you excited for The Regime? I will have to check out the trailer now just to see what they were previewing. Maybe this review is literally nothing new, what the trailer has already told you. My written review is down below. Again, it's a little bit more well-structured of what I've been talking about already, so you don't have to check that out, but I deeply appreciate it. The Regime comes out in a few days, 1st of March or something. I'm going to have a look right now, because I genuinely have no idea. The Regime comes out on, give me a second, on March 3rd. I don't know if it's multiple episodes or if it's just the one, but I do think you should stick with this and watch it weekly. Again, producers of Succession, if this clicks for you, it's gonna click. Instagram, everything down below if you want to follow. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day.